Now then, guys, welcome back to the Cycle Sunday podcast. Mr. Bowker, it's just me and thee.
It is. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too, mate. Hey, I tell you what, people seem
Yes.
to like it that we're back.
It's really good, isn't it? We like it. We're back.
I know,
So
I
I'm
know,
glad that other people like it that we're back as well.
I know, because I think people listening to this just need to understand that me and you just like gassing. So we may as well record one of our long conversations as a podcast, because normally we do it on a mobile phone when I'm driving somewhere or when you're driving somewhere. So
But isn't that how it started?
I guess so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So it originally started because of Cycle Sunday,
yeah,
and we wanted to nerd out. We wanted to get the video short and then nerd out on the podcast, and that worked really well. And then when we were sort of running out of stuff to talk about on the podcast, because everything was delayed on the bike, we just decided actually we like talking for an hour in the car anyway, so let's just do it.
just carry on.
Yeah.
So we're being dangerous this week. We're going kind of unscripted, although we do have a bit of an idea. So
Yeah.
I've had a few people reach out since the podcast came back last week. By the way, mega response to Tracy and her story. I still really, I mean, I really enjoyed recording that. But as I said on the podcast, I could have quite happily talked to her for hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours. So yeah, it was lovely to have a guest, and we are planning to have guests. I think the thing it's the logistics. I think for us at the moment are quite challenging because we're both so hugely busy, which is amazing, and we're very thankful for it. But that does mean that planning in guests and stuff just takes a bit more timing and a bit more logistical support. But hopefully we will get some more guests.
Yep.
But yeah, we've had a few questions about whether Cycle Sunday is going to come back in terms of videos. And also, since we've been away, you guys at Criterium Cycles have been doing a lot more stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, with thanks to you, Pete.
Well, it's one of those,
Yep.
it's addictive, isn't it?
Yep.
So we thought we'd have a bit of a chat about YouTube and cycling.
Yep.
And that's going to cut across a few things. We're going to have a chat about Cycle Sunday, and the work that we did last year, and the videos that went out on Petrolped as a YouTube channel. We're going to have a chat about the amazing stuff that you're creating for the Criterium Cycles YouTube channel. But we also I guess it's a way of us trying to get a bit of feedback from the audience as to where you guys enjoy getting information from.
Yep.
On the subject of cycling. And that could be podcasts, it could be YouTube videos, it might be magazines, those types of things. So I thought it'd be quite an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Because it's hard yards. And I think one of the things, so let's start off with the first question. Are we going to do some more stuff together as Cycle Sunday? And the answer to that is yes, hopefully we are. We haven't got any firm dates planned yet, but we have lots of ideas flying around.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to do something because the stuff that we did last year, I can't speak for Paul, but I just absolutely loved every second of doing those videos and learnt a great deal, and just found a new friend and found a new audience as well. And it was great.
Yes.
The videos. In some respects, some of the videos didn't get the views that we thought they would, but by goodness me, did they get the engagement and the traction and
Yes.
the loyalty of the audience? Probably more so than any videos I make on my normal channel. Actually, they really were brilliant.
Yeah. No, it's and I will reciprocate that completely, Peter. Everything that you just said is totally ditto from our point of view. Just everything that we learn, just the experiences that we had. Again, the friendships that were forged. You, Dan, Tracy, everybody. It's just fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
The trick we had though, and this is mainly probably the subject of this podcast really is. The more I understand, as my YouTube channel grows, and most of the people listening will know, but if not, anyway, I work with an organization called Studio 71. They're what's called a multi-channel network, but they're basically they manage the back end of my main YouTube channel. And what I mean by manage the back end, they look at the optimization of that platform, both the channel itself and each video that I put up on the channel, to make sure that it is as Google algorithm friendly as possible. And the more I work with those guys, the more I learn, and the more I realize I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a real black art in terms of getting a six. You know, you might just think you create some videos, you put them on YouTube, and you have a successful channel. And yes, there are instances of that, but you do need to understand how the game works. And one of the challenges that I found, probably more so with the second series of Cycle Sunday, was that YouTube gets quite confused if you've got cars and bikes on the same channel, because they are a bit different. And whilst there's a crossover that we all know as people who listen to Cycle Sunday, we all know it works because we all like cars and we all like bikes. The algorithm doesn't quite understand it.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of a challenge. And what that meant was, I don't think it helped the Cycle Sunday videos so much, because when the algorithm looked at my site, it saw it was a car channel and didn't really understand what to do with the cycle content. But what it also did, and we can't quantify this, but potentially it also looked at the car content and got confused, and it started to have a detrimental effect on that, maybe.
Yep.
So ideally, and it's funny, when we went right back to the beginning of this project, when Paul and I first started talking, we actually thought why don't we do something completely brand new and start from scratch? And the reason we didn't do that was quite simple. I had an audience already that I thought would engage with Cycle Sunday, and we got quicker exposure for the project, and the rest is history.
Yep.
But what you guys are doing at Criterium Cycles now is forging your own channel, Criterium Cycles YouTube channel, and finding a way to make that work, and trying to understand what videos work, what content your audience wants. And Paul and I have spent quite a bit of time talking on the phone, and I watch all the videos and give feedback and stuff. And I know Paul's working super hard. He's got a better setup than I have, actually. I'm quite jealous of your studio. We might talk about that in a minute. So I guess I thought we'd have a chat about that, because it's difficult, hey?
Yeah, it's really hard. And the good news is about having PetrolPed and having the Criterium Cycles YouTube channel is that, and I'm just thinking about this literally off the top of my head, Peter. So again, none of this is scripted. We're both just literally having a chat as if we would do if we were on the phone. So, I hope you guys are enjoying it. But the way I'm looking at it is that, say, for example, we decided to do a Cycle Sunday video. We can, and let's throw it out there. We decided to do a road trip with our bikes.
Yeah.
Well, what we could do is we can create a 2-video stream, one that's focused on the car side of the road trip,
Yeah.
and one that's focused on the cycling side of the road trip,
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And that means that Peter can put on PetrolPed channel, like he did with the RAV4 video when he included the Bianchi in his RAV4 video of can you get a bike in the boot of this car? Yeah. It gave great coverage to the Bianchi Arcadex.
Yeah.
But it was also a great video for PetrolPed channel because it was all about the car. So it understood what it was throwing out and to who. And then if the cycling content of that road trip was then filmed by me and Pete, but put on the Criterium Cycles YouTube channel, that means that the YouTube algorithm would also understand the cycling content from a cycling channel and throw that out as well to the right people.
Yeah.
It's just we have to grow our channel. So anybody who isn't subscribed to the Criterium Cycle YouTube channel, please do go
Yeah.
across. And it's as simple as that. It's Criterium Cycles. You've got a picture of Jasper there. So it's very recognizable. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. And likewise, anybody who follows the Cycle Sunday podcast, I'm going to do the same plug for Peter. Make sure you follow Petrol Ped, because everything that he puts up, I love as well.
Yeah.
So does that, to you, Peter, does that sound the logical way of doing it?
Oh, for sure. And it comes if we go back to last year and some of the plans we had last year that got kind of hampered because of, well, two things: travel restrictions because of COVID, and also bike build delay because of supply. Our plan was to do a trip to Italy with the bike when it was finished, and go and do some cycling up some big hills in Italy.
Yeah.
And we still desperately want to do that, and we will do that. So, no, I absolutely, and I think it's just one of those things that if we look at the cycling YouTube world, because I'm sure many of the listeners are probably quite familiar with the big players in the car world, your Tims and Carfections and Car Wows, that size of channel. Well, in the bike world, it's the likes of GCN, and they've got such a gigantic following. It's actually quite difficult to cut through and cut into that. And it's the same thing for me trying to go, I don't know, head to head with Carfection. They've got big budgets and very good presenters and very good film crews and professional editing and all those types of things. And that's the same with GCN. So one of the that I guess that's one of the big challenges, right? So we are always talking about content that we can create together. I guess the first one of those probably is what we were talking about with Tracy last week, actually, or on the last podcast, is doing some stuff around e-bikes, and trying to be improve my e-bike riding from a ex-world champion downhill rider. That's going to be painful. Interestingly, I was at the SMMT test day, so the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, I think, isn't it, SMMT?
Yeah, it is.
At Millbrook last week. And I was talking to a brand, and I won't say which one, because I'm still I got very positive response from them, but they're quite a well-known car brand that's associated with cycling, and I've not done anything with them yet. And I said, look, I really want to do some work with you, because my audience likes cars and bikes, and your audience likes cars and bikes. So I'm hoping to do some stuff with those guys. So it's a really interesting one. But the fascinating thing about Paul's content creation over the last 3 months, how long have you been?
Yeah, if you look at the channel, and the thing that you've got to be careful of is that it says that the channel was created in 2016, which it was.
Oh, mine was created in 2007, mate. So.
But we only actually really started creating content about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And then there was a break of about 2 months. So it's only been really the last 3 months that we've consistently put videos up.
Yeah. And I think, there's a nice breadth of stuff there as well. So from range reviews of the new model bikes coming out, the modification of your rail e-bike. And I know we've, on Cycle Sunday, looked at how we modified my e-bike. But guys, if you haven't seen the videos on Paul's channel about what Rosie and Paul have done to their rails, you need to go, because they are ridiculous.
They are.
Like ridiculous. Amazing.
They make Shmee's project, or in fact, actually, they almost make Ruby Roadster as a project look like you just put a body kit on.
Yeah, there's not much of the bike left, really.
No.
Frame, maybe.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Seat post.
Yes.
No. So.
Oh no, saddle's changed.
Oh my God. Right. Okay. So no. So and what's it's a bit like we did with Cycle Sunday. You've described the not just the mods you've done, but the reason behind it. You've
Yeah,
taken the bikes out for ride and all those types of things. So yeah, no, it's a really interesting one. But I think we will strive to work out what other things we're going to be doing from a content creation point of view, and for the guys listening, reach out to us, and for Paul and the Criterium Cycles channel, what kind of things float your boat for him, and the
yeah,
videos that he's made, give feedback. I remember when I first started my channel, I relished feedback
mm,
because I didn't know what people wanted. I was just assuming or making an educated guess, and I still like it today.
yes,
If I do a video and it works or it doesn't, I want to know about it so I don't do it again.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
So
And what was interesting, as I spoke to a customer tonight who just picked up a new Trek rail and who's been digesting the content on our channel. And I was just chatting to him because he said, "Oh, by the way, I'm really enjoying your videos," and that was lovely and flattering. But I wanted to understand from his perspective what he looks for, because I guess when somebody's research, I guess you've got two reasons why you'll watch YouTube. One is for fun, so there's nothing on the TV, or
Yeah.
for some people, actually, it's just a go-to now because everybody knows there's nothing on the TV. So, do you just go on there for fun to just watch content for entertainment? And then the second reason why you potentially use YouTube is to then, from an education standpoint, you want to learn or research something. So I think really you could potentially split YouTube as a into those two categories. I
Mhm.
can't think of a third or a fourth, but you might be able to throw one, Peter. But
Fun
ultimately,
research.
do you want to watch it for entertainment? Do you want to watch it for research/learning?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
I said to this particular customer, I said, then you take it down and say, right, okay, I'm looking for something from a research perspective. So if I'm looking for a brand new bike or I'm looking for a brand new car, you've got number one, and this isn't in order, by the way, it's just categories. Number one, you've got manufacturer content. So first of all, maybe if you're interested in a Kia or a Hyundai or a Trek or a Specialized, you may go on the manufacturer's YouTube channels or the manufacturer's websites and just get a taste of the sort of product that you might be looking to purchase. You might then go, oh, I'm choosing between these three models or these three manufacturers, and then you might go on to maybe a dealer website or a dealer YouTube channel, and then, but effectively, like if you go onto Criterium Cycles, of course we're biased because we don't sell Specialized and Giant. I only sell Trek. But what this gentleman was saying was that the thing he liked about our content was that it wasn't all salesy,
Mm.
and it's also, if I think Trek or Bianchi have messed up on a particular level of spec or on a particular level of design,
Mm.
we'll say oh guys, if you're going to buy this bike, it's absolutely wicked, but what you've got to do, I know the bike's 4,900 quid, but if I were you, I'd spend 5.5 and change the wheel set or do something like that because it's the only weak link on the bike.
Mm.
Or if you've got 4.9 to spend today, just have that in the back of your mind that it is a bit of a weak link. However, the rest of the bike's amazing. So we want to be as unbiased and as honest as we can be. We are honest, but do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So you've got the manufacturer, then you've got a dealer, then you've got what I would classify as you, Peter. You've got professional YouTube, and I'm not going to say the word. I'm not going to use the I
Influencer.
word.
Go on. Go on.
Yeah. So the influencer, the person who is as impartial and as broad as you can physically get, as far as I'm concerned, which is, I've driven the RAV4, I've driven the Hyundai, I've driven the Kia, I've driven all the medium-size SUV plug-in hybrids that are available, and there is a video for each. You now use those videos to create your own conclusion. And they're really useful. And I would put GCN and EMBN and the shoot-offs from there as that type of forum for cycling. The only thing that you just got to be really careful of is that those guys also, or certain channels, they're not as impartial and unbiased as you think. They will still have partners. They will still have people who, donate and sponsor their channel growth. So it does take a bit of the impartiality out of it. So don't think that it's completely impartial. And then I think the fourth thing is Joe Blow, who's got virtually no followings on YouTube, no views, but Joe Blow buys a rail and this is his thoughts, right? So I think those are, and I think all four of those means of getting information are as important as each other. But my interest in the comments for people to put is, what do you want to see content-wise from all of those different outlets? So from me as a dealer, what do you want to see from me as a dealer? What do you want to see from Peter as an influencer? How do you want those videos constructed and put together, and what would you find useful? I think that's an important thing to get to understand as a creator of content.
Yeah. No, it's good. And I mean, God, I wish I knew the answer to that in the car world, because you never really know. And I think that the challenge for any YouTube channel, and I was having quite a lot of conversations recently. I was on a press trip yesterday, which I'll talk about in a minute, actually, because I was in Italy yesterday by Lake Como, and we went to this amazing cycling museum.
Oh wow!
With all of these, some of the like really historic bikes, but they had this amazing Maya Rosa, the pink jersey wall. They had a pink jersey from every Tour de France, from every Giro d'Italia winner going back to like the 60s. It was amazing.
Wow.
So anyway, but what I was going to say, we were chatting, and the question came up: what makes a YouTube channel or a YouTube video successful? What's the metric you use? Is it, as a channel, the number of subscribers they have? And that might influence whether you watch them or not. So you might think, oh, that channel's got 1 million subscribers, I'll watch them because they know what they're talking about. But as you said, you might have matey boy who's just bought the bike and he's ridden it for 6 weeks without getting off it, and he's got 10 subscribers, but boy, does he know that bike, and boy, can he tell you what it's like to own.
Yeah.
You might look at a video, and I think as creators, I'm certainly guilty of this, and I look at a video, and if it only does 5,000 views, I'm disappointed because I don't think the video's been successful. But if those 5,000 views generate, X amount of sales for the brand that I'm working with on that video, then it's been successful.
Yes.
And then and then the last one is that conversion to, whether we like it or loathe it. I guess the difference between you and me at the moment on a YouTube point of view is YouTube now is my job, and the revenue I get from that pays the mortgage.
Yeah.
YouTube for you is a vehicle to help people understand about bikes, but your job is selling the bike in the shop.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And that is the next chapter, isn't it? Is what is YouTube? So you've got two aspects, haven't you? You've got two sides of the screen. You've got what is the motivation of the consumer, the content consumer, to watch your content, and then what's the motivation of the content creator to create it in the first place.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, we have a really good bike shop, and I the way my agenda for creating the information on YouTube, I honestly, genuinely do not care about being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Do not care one jot. I don't care if I'm noticed. I don't care if I'm recognized. Have no interest in that whatsoever. All I am trying to do is clone me. So the way I work it is that my recent video on the Trek Alant e-bike series, hybrid series of e-bikes from Trek, I've only got 168 views after, I think, 6 or 7 days
Yeah.
on that particular video. So if that was your video, Peter, you'd be going, oh my goodness, I am going to get zero ad revenue. And how am I going to tell Tracy that I can't put food on the table? From my perspective, I look at it and go, that's 168 bike presentations that saved me 20 minutes of
Yeah.
explaining that to 168 customers. Now,
Yeah.
I also understand that those 168 customers aren't necessarily in the UK. They're not necessarily going to be buying the bike. They might just be just watching content for entertainment. But if I sell 4 bikes from the how long? Probably 3 hours of filming, 6 hours of editing, because I do put a lot of care and attention into into the production of the videos. Again, thanks to Peter understanding how he does his as well. And if I sell 4 bikes, then actually that video for me has paid for itself.
Mm.
So it is fascinating, isn't it? The agenda of the content creator as well.
Yeah, and it is, and you know, when you suggested this topic, I'm like, I wonder if we've got enough to talk. And there's so much to talk about because you know, I know creators that have motivations across all the things we just mentioned. So I know some people who do it because they just like to be on camera and they like to be, you know, recognized everywhere.
Yeah.
Moi. um, no, I was joking. Um, I the big trick actually is because so I think when anybody starts YouTube, hopefully they do it for fun
Mm.
and they do it. I have found a creative side to me that I didn't know I had.
Yeah, agreed.
And every video I make, I try and do it in a different way or do something slightly different. Or, you know, when I made it, it's just I didn't know I was creative at all.
Mm.
I have good ideas. I'm a good you know in a team. I was always the creative person that thinks up an idea, but I'm rubbish. I'm not a completer finisher. And what's quite interesting is as a YouTuber, you especially a single shooter like I am, you have to be a completer finisher.
Yeah.
You have to. So I went to a press launch yesterday. I filmed with a car all day yesterday, and the embargo lifted today, and the video goes out tomorrow. And I downloaded all my footage this morning, and then just thought, oh no, I've got to edit this video. And you know, I had a little moment where I'm like, how am I going to make it work? Because it was
Mm.
quite a difficult video to make. So it's the creative side. Then you get to the point where it starts to make you money, or you start working with brands to make money. And the big challenge there, and this is very relevant, is to make sure that you keep your impartiality. That was the reason your channel or your videos were successful in the first place. So
Mm.
you were talking about going to a non-brand YouTube channel. So, you know, you want to buy a Trek, but you don't go to Trek's website. You go to an independent. So you get
Yeah.
an independent view. What I call the Amazon rating. You know, you look at other
Yes.
people who bought it. Well, if your credibility is born out of that independence, when you start to monetize yourself, you have to make sure that you keep that independence and you keep that thing that made you successful in the first place.
Yes.
So you know, I was with Alfa Romeo yesterday, and I drove the car, and I got back, and you know, the guys from Alfa Romeo said, "So how is it?" You know, and I was
Mm.
like, it needs a bit more power for me.
Mm.
Um, and I wasn't just going to go, "Oh, it's amazing."
Yes.
It was 70% amazing, but 30% I had some things, and there was quite a senior journalist on the table at dinner, or at lunch rather, and someone said, "Oh, how is it?" And he went, "Well, there's bits I like, and there's bits I don't." And that,
Yep.
it's like, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, you're going to drive a car, and you're going to go, well, "You drive." I'll challenge anyone to drive a modern Ferrari and tell me you don't like it, or that to tell me the bits you don't, because really, it's it's
It,
difficult to do it.
it's pretty complete, isn't it?
Or in the bike world, I'll challenge anyone. If you had gangly legs and were the right size, ride my Bianchi Ultra XR4 and tell me you don't like it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that I don't think a person exists on the planet would say that. I'm not saying that just because we built the bike together. It's perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
I love
Agreed.
it. and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what's really exciting is I haven't. When did I go? I'm trying to think. The last bike I went out, I went on a gravel bike about a week and a half ago, I think. And I've been short on time, so I've been doing a lot of running. But I'm looking at the weather forecast, and we've got this lovely warm weather coming in, and I'm just thinking, it's warm, it's dry, the Ultra's coming out, baby. So yes, I think the Ultra will be getting a bit of use over the weekend.
Yeah. Getting a bit of a beasting.
Yeah, or it'll So no, so I think those. I know we're kind of rambling a little bit, but that actually for it sums up YouTube quite well, I think.
Yeah. And then you've got the algorithm that actually nobody really knows. Because, I mean, I look at some of the videos that I've put up. So I think I've got 23, 24 videos now on our channel.
Yeah.
And there are some videos, and I'm gonna actually exclude the helmet videos that I've done, because they were very, very specific about sending customers the link if they're ordering a helmet online. So all the views that are basically on that, they're not there. They're not intended to create views. They're just there as an aid to customers looking for a product.
Yeah.
So let's say we've got 19 videos on there that anybody, whether they're into cycling, not into cycling, into e-bikes, not into e-bikes, if you are on YouTube for cycling entertainment, they're worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of them have been created with the same care, with the same cameras, and with the same editing. Yet some have got 500 views,
Yeah.
and some have got 3,400 views.
Yeah.
You explain.
And to put that into context, a video doing 3,000 views on a channel of your size is mega.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mega.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the Trek Domane SLR custom build. And that, I'm really glad that's doing okay, because that not only is a flipping gorgeous bike that I'm actually looking at right now, and somebody needs to buy it, because that thing is just incredible. It's a 54 centimeter Domane SLR, full custom build with brand new Dura-Ace 12 speed in an endurance gear set. So anybody who's 54 centimeter looking for a proper high-end bike, watch the film of it being made, and it's on our website. Get it bought. It's incredible. Anyway, but that was a 10-hour edit for that for that video. It was, and well, you did your own Bianchi edit.
Yeah. They're
You've
hard
got
because you create so much. You create so much rushes to go through.
correct. But yeah, that's with 273 subscribers now. So we're still a way off that sort of magic 1,000 to start with. But yeah, that's got 3,400 views. Our Trek Rail long range test ride video, that's at 2,400 views. I've got another one at 2,100 views, and then I've got another few that's at high thousands now.
Yeah.
So I'm generally really pleased.
Yeah, and it's the YouTube's it's a slow start, right? Unless you, I don't know if you saw Alex. What's his second name? Jeez. So he's just left. Bear with me, call it. I'll pull up the details at the same time. Um,
Oh, Alex from Car Throttle.
Comes from Car Throttle. Yeah.
I've seen his I've left Car Throttle. Let me explain video, but I've not watched it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
no, I'm interested
so
on that.
yeah. So his YouTube channel, and this is a few days old now, so it'll be bigger than this. His
Yeah,
YouTube channel has one video on it,
right.
right? And that one video has generated so far. He's got 222,000 subscribers,
Wow.
and that one video has done 780,000 views.
Holy moly.
He did
So that
100,000 subscribers like in a day. In the first day, the video went up. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
So that then you see, I find that really fascinating because that then pulls into question what is your brand? Is it the channel or is it the presenter?
Oh, big style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big style. I mean, he's actually working back with them, I think. But let me just. I'm just going to. Auto Alex.
Yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves. Peter is actually on his
Sorry.
phone at the moment,
All
trying
right.
to. Yeah, so I didn't want it to be totally silent for you for another 5 minutes.
Sorry. I
Yeah,
know. My
uh,
bad. My bad.
yeah.
Um,
We did say we were just chatting on this on this one. I didn't realise we were going to get to a point where we were going to have a
so, so,
silence as well.
so far, 272,000 subscribers and 1 million views, and he's done one video.
That's just fantastic. Well done him.
Oh, mate, absolutely. But yeah, it's the same. The sometimes the channel, the personality of the channel becomes bigger than the channel, and that wouldn't be the case for, I guess, for you or I, because the channel, it's ours. We're not working for somebody else.
Yeah.
But I just find it fascinating, and that is very much um the odd one out. It never happens like that. I mean, that's just unbelievable growth. I mean, unbelievable.
I guess the other one that's close to that, actually, in fairness to him, is Matt Watson of Carwow.
Oh yeah, so he started what with Matt Watson on cars,
Yes.
running alongside Carwow. True.
Yeah.
I guess Tim with the Museum. That's just they've done 100,000 subscribers, so you
Yeah.
can cross fertilize and bring audiences over. And
Yeah.
when you do collab, that's the great thing about doing a collaboration, right? Is you can do that.
Yeah.
Um, but then the collaboration has to work right with people as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but the biggest thing is just like you said, you never know what video is going to do well. You never do. You can have a gut feel. I can sometimes I'll make a video and I think it's going to be okay, and then
Yeah.
it sometimes it'll do okay, and it'll fly, and other times, my video of Monday this week of me, announcing my new car, I had a feeling that was going to do well,
Yeah.
and that's the best performing first 24 hours of a video I've had in 6 years. It did 55,000 views in 24 hours.
But it was also a beautifully done video. And do you think, because your video that preceded that, which was I'm totally gutted about Charlie Clubman,
Yeah,
I think that did quite well.
I was done very
So
well.
yeah, so I think almost this is a new car that I've purchased video. It was almost like a part two to
Yeah,
that video.
yeah, and it was intentionally like that. So,
Yes.
but yeah, but that so that that for me is a good one. But so it is finding those, sometimes the stories, it can be as simple as, and this is the frustrating thing, it's as simple as a good thumbnail or a
Yes.
great title, not a
Yes.
clickbaity title. You can get views if you want. If you want to do clickbait, you'll get views for clickbait, but your audience won't last very long.
No.
So yeah, but yeah, no. So there you go. So that, I mean, one of the things I would say is your studio is full of better camera gear than I've got, and I'm quite jealous, but we'll see.
Yeah. I just like, you know me, I'm a gadget man. I
Yeah,
absolutely love the technology.
yeah,
Um, and I don't know that much about it. And the thing that I've learned more than anything else is that you can pay for simplicity. So there is a sweet spot, isn't there, between you know you can use I mean your camera on your phone and even the microphone on your phone
yeah.
is actually if you're creating. I know you'll hear a lot of YouTube uh, sort of the people like Think Media and that sort of stuff that
Mm.
the people advise people when they're going into YouTube. Oh, you could the best camera that you've got is the one that's in your pocket. So if you're creating really nice, really interesting content, then the audio quality and the camera quality can be slightly lower.
Yeah.
However, the problem that we have when we're fighting in a space that is quite saturated, then actually your production quality or the importance of your production quality then actually goes up. So, for example, I did a video that I was wrestling with should I reshoot it and re edit it? And the only reason why I haven't is that, of course, this was the Trek Marlin video where I used a new microphone set and massive rookie error. I didn't do a test piece to camera to check my levels.
Oh, we've all
So,
done that.
but we've all done that. So I was what was called clipping, which is effectively when you go into the distortion level of the microphone. So and I would have if I was right at the beginning of a model year. So if this was July last year when the 2022 model years were launched, and I did that, I'd have reshot it. I wouldn't have thought twice.
Yeah.
However, because I'm 2/3 through a model year, I haven't. So and that's done okay. I've got 500-600 views out of that, and we sold a few bikes, so that's okay.
I think I mean, there is a line where you know you can very easily fall into a trap of putting content out for the sake of putting content out, and I think that's not a great idea.
Yeah.
Um, but if you can, I think we've all done the. I remember the first Cycle Sunday video we shot. Actually, I used a new mics and had them set in stereo, and you were left channel and I was right channel, rather
Yes.
than having them as dual channel. And that I didn't recognize that or spot that until it was too late in the edit.
Yeah.
So we've all done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Although interestingly, Um, I've now worked out how that works to your advantage. So there is a video going live tonight in 7 minutes on the Criterium Cycles YouTube channel,
Awesome.
which is a bit of a. I've stolen your concept, really, Peter. Which Peter does on his channel, as you'll probably all know anyway, is the midweek 180, which is really good. I mean, it's just it 180 seconds, or in Peter's world, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get so much grief for that.
I know it's brilliant, but I love it,
Yeah.
absolutely love it, and it's just a real one take, chatty, almost newsreel
Yeah.
type thing, and it's absolutely fantastic. But I've done what's called Rosie and Paul chat,
Oh,
and what it I'm using it to start with as maybe a monthly thing rather than a weekly thing
yeah.
of just what's happening. So I've got sort of three sections. The first one is what's hot in the shop. So something that might have arrived new in the store, what's selling really well, what we're struggling to get hold of. So just interesting stuff about what's happening in the shop. The second one is a fleet update. So I know Tim does really well. Shmi 150 does really well with that. Talk you through the fleet. So I've introduced a couple of new bikes that we already own, but have never been on our YouTube channel before. So just chatting about the fleet in general. And then finally, sort of planned content. So what we're planning on bringing to you. So that's about 9 minutes long. And I used the new microphones, and I actually did do the split stereo system, so left channel, right channel, as opposed to mixed between the two. But I worked out to make sure, because Rosie was on the left hand side and I was on the right hand side, so it almost sounds a bit interviewy as opposed to mottled together.
Yeah.
So
Our
anyway,
problem was we were right and left, but we were stood the wrong way round.
absolutely correct. And that was a problem. But I've also worked out in DaVinci Resolve now how to switch the channels, so you can actually then in post just switch those two around.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's been a real fascinating journey, just learning about the tech.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I am pretty rubbish. I mean, I've got the 360 camera. I don't know. Like, this won't show you, but I had a bit of an accident.
Oh my goodness, what's happened to it?
I was doing. It fell off the back of a car. So, don't.
Brilliant.
Yeah. No. Going back to the camera stuff. I know I watched a video from my good mate Steph ABTV today. Very short video, just on an Osmo gimbal and iPhone. So iPhone 13 and the
Yeah.
little baby Osmo gimbal, which is only about 120 quid.
Yeah.
And I reckon that would do for most people everything that you need. Those
Yes.
two together, and it was so good. I'm going to text him later. He's an influencer. I might have to get one because I did
And
have
what?
an Osmo. It's not the massive, great big gimbal. It's literally just a little mini one for your phone.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me that you've got one.
Yeah. No, I've got the Osmo 4.
Yeah.
I think they've got a new one now, which I think is the Osmo 5.
Yeah.
That one of the things that is really good about the new one is that it does have a retractable, almost selfie stick. So the issue with the Osmo 4 is the fact that you've got the it's not got a selfie stick format. But the issue that I've got with the Osmo is actually the phone camera. So if you're doing um, a, a, a sort of face to camera and you're using then the front camera because you want it to, you put basically a box around your face, and then the gimbal will auto track you. So it's really good. But the problem is it's then using the front camera that doesn't have a flip option. So if you've got branded logos on, it will be mirrored.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I use the front camera in selfie mode, and I'm never my branding's never the wrong way around.
Right. So it might be a setting that I haven't got right. Yeah. So all these things are quite
that winds me
interesting.
up when you see people and the logos are the wrong way around, and because their faces are the wrong way around as well, because no face is symmetrical, right? So
correct.
I mean, you can always tell. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. But I use my Osmo quite a lot if I'm using it to if I'm say walking and I'm shooting using the back cameras. So the rear cameras on a smartphone are always better than the front facing cameras because they tend to be the bigger lenses. So they're always really good. But of course, you can't then use the back cameras to do a talk to camera because you don't know if you're in frame or not because you've not got an image. So that's the reason why I moved. One of the best things that I've bought is my Sony, is it ZV-10E or something like that? Really small vlogging camera, and I use that in the van. I use it to walk and talk. I use it for B-roll. I use it for so much. It is such a good bit of kit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Cool. Nerding out on cameras now. This went to be a cycling thing.
I know. So in the last 10 minutes then, I guess just give people a heads up. So we're still doing once a fortnight.
Yeah.
And we've got some ideas for having guests and those types of things on, which would be really, really good. We are planning to get together and do some more content. I have to say, having just got back from Italy and being around Lake Como and seen lots and lots of cyclists on
Yes.
very gnarly, very, very, very bumpy bits of tarmac. I mean, the tarmac in Italy is beautiful, by the way. It's like billiard table, but God, my days, is it steep.
Yes.
That's the difference, I think, between Italy and France. I've not really done any cycling in Italy. Italy looks like Cornwall on steroids, basically. So just 45-degree climbs, but they're about 5 kilometers long. So
Yeah,
I
it
do need to
depends on
cycle.
which. Yeah, it depends on which bit of Italy.
Yeah,
If you're in the. I mean, I'd love to go into the Dolomites
yeah,
and just some of the stuff around there.
yeah.
Because I've been out to Italy with Bianchi 2, 3 times now, and most of the time that was in and around the um, Bergamo area, so northern Italy, and we're basically at the foot of the Silvino Pass. Hopefully, I've said that right. On the other side of the valley is where San Pellegrino is made, so that's
All
where
right.
the factory is on the other side of
Yeah.
the pass. And I've been up there on Ultra XR4. That was my first experience of Ultra XR4. And then Rosie came the year after, and we had a brace of Specialissima.
Ooh.
And also a bit of bike and car content. Maserati. What was their 4-seater convertible flat plane crank V8? Is it Gran Turismo?
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, I think it was. Well, Maserati was filming their promo video for the Gran Turismo while we were riding up. So you're there, not a cloud in the sky, 32, 33 degrees, riding an 11,000 quid Campag equipped Specialissima with the hills resonating, this flat plane crank V8, and these absolutely beautiful Italian drivers literally going round the outside of you, going up a hairpin with total oppo on the rev limiter, and you just got this ba 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 as it just then accelerated up. It was just the most incredible day on a bicycle. It was brilliant.
That sounds awesome, actually.
It was
Should have made a
wonderful.
YouTube video.
Do you know, if I was in that space at that time, it would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good day.
I can imagine, actually. I can imagine.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I think people, you need to let us know, or let Paul know. Well, actually, let me start again. Subscribe to Criterium Cycles YouTube channel. We need to
Yes,
get this
please.
gentleman to 1,000 subscribers. But at the same time, subscribe to the Cycle Sunday podcast YouTube channel, because that's not 1,000 subscribers either. And give this podcast a rating and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, we're not sure what the next subject of the next video is going to be.
What would you
But
like it to be? Tell
yeah,
us.
exactly.
Yeah, tell us in the comments.
Exactly.
What things are you not hearing about? What things do you want to hear about? You know, are the things that are confusing you out there? You know, let us know. Tell us, and we will work around you. You are our audience, and
Exactly.
we're here to help you and entertain you.
Hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I know this has definitely been the most me and Paul having a chat on the phone like podcast that we've done.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, the world of content, of creating content, cycling or car content is so complex in some ways, but so simple in others. You know, at the end of the day, if it's good, engaging content, then people will watch it or listen to it. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a difficult thing to conceptually think about. It's very difficult to execute, though.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it's probably. Should we draw this one to a close?
I think so. I think that was great.
Look, we've even given about 5 minutes. We always do an hour. We're
Yes.
5 minutes short. Guys, stay tuned in 2 weeks' time for the next Cycle Sunday podcast. Let us know what you want us to have a chat about. Any questions or good subject matters for a podcast. If you want to come on the podcast, if you've got an interesting cycling background or story or something you'd like to kind of share with everyone, get in touch. We'd love to have you on the podcast. It'd be cool.
Yep.
And,
that'd be great.
And we'll see you on the next one. But for now, I've been Pete Greaves.
And I've been Paul Bowker.
You take care, guys. Ride safe.
Ride safe, everyone.